Our second story behind closed doors, or behind the forbidden curtain.
She had dressed so carefully for her nephew's wedding. Everything had to be perfect: hair, makeup, and her outfit. Did she look older? Yes, of course she did. It had been nearly 25 years since they'd last met. What would he think? What will I think of him? Emily had known him since she was 15 when she began crewing for him in his racing dinghy. She thought she had fallen in love from the very beginning, knowing he'd always thought of her as the teenage sister of her brother Christopher, who was to become his best friend. And so she knew Will and his wife Jane were bound to be at the wedding. Emily was feeling very anxious and almost snapped at her husband for not getting ready in time.
What's the rush?
He'd asked.
You know I hate being late, Jack.
Yes, but we've got plenty of time to get to the church, so just calm down a bit.
Her husband didn't know of the tensions building up inside of her. The wedding was fine. She had noticed Will in a pew behind where the family were assigned to sit. The smile he gave her made her heart turn over.
Don't be such a fool,
she told herself. Look at his wife, dressed in a very elegant outfit, and Emily felt a bit dowdy.
I shouldn't have chosen such a bright blue, she said to herself.
Champagne and photographs over, they all made their way into the hall where the elegant tables were laid out. She glanced at the table plan and was so happy to find Bill and his wife were on the same table. Emily found the four of them were sitting together, with Bill right beside her.
I wonder if that was Chris's idea.
She smiled with happiness. It had been such a long time since her brother's special birthday, and the last time she'd met Will. They began swapping memories and names of people they had known, gradually rekindling their interests in each other, while they accepted more champagne.
I always cared for you,
she found herself almost whispering to Will.
Why didn't you tell me? I thought it was Jamie you were keen on, and so I backed off.
No, it was always you. How stupid I was.
The wine flowed, and so did their conversation, each of them revealing more of their feelings. It was when they danced together, and she seemed to melt into his arms, that she felt the same longing and desire fill her body, and she knew she was still in love with him. His hand found her knee, and he was gently caressing it, making her almost lost in her dreams. Her husband announced he was going to bed. Don't rush, you have so many memories and stories to reminisce about. Will's wife disappeared shortly after. Come on, this old house is fascinating. Let's go and explore. Taking his hand, she happily rose to her feet. Both of them knowing there would be no holding back this time. Giggling now after too many glasses of champagne, they found a long corridor with a curtain from another age, and a rope across guarding an entrance. Private, do not enter, said a sign hanging from the rope. Ignoring it, they pulled it aside and crept forward, causing the wooden floorboards to creak, as if to emphasize they were not welcome. Partway along, a single light hung from the ceiling, causing strange shadows to slide out from an ancient fireplace. Emily held Will's hand even tighter and said she was scared. Perhaps they had better go back. But now Will was insisting. He told her he'd been stupid in the past, but this time he wanted to find out what he'd missed. She giggled at this and willingly moved forward beside him, glancing into old and tired bedrooms and dressing rooms. That was until they found the room. It was as if it had its own illumination. In the center of the room stood a magnificent four-poster bed. Bright tapestry curtains hung from the heavy wooden framework. A cover was drawn over the made-up bed. Everything ready for the two of them, Will thought. Pictures of former men and women were seen in gold-covered frames hung on oak-paneled walls. Will led Emily into the bedroom. Inside he took her into his arms and began kissing her. At first lightly, before both of them kissed each other, with all the longing and desire built up over years of waiting. Emily shuddered.
It's cold in here,
she murmured through their kisses. Will pointed to the bed.
Come on, I'll warm you up.
As he said that, he noticed the door into the room slowly closing behind them, as if an unseen hand was quietly shutting it. He frowned slightly, but was so eager to make love to this woman he had known since they were teenagers. Emily allowed him to lead her towards the great ornate bed. Before they reached it, the lights vanished, and they found themselves standing in pitch darkness.
What the hell?
Will said. Emily just held on tighter.
Let's go. I'm scared.
So am I, confessed Will.
I've got my phone with me. It's got a torch on it. Hang on a minute while I get it out.
He switched it on. The light flickered for a second and faded. They were in pitch darkness again. There hadn't been time for them to work out where they, or the door was.